If you're not using these features I'm about to show you in Davinci Resolve, then you, my friend, are wasting time in your editing. So welcome back to Creator Reality, my friend. I'm John, and today I'm here to teach you about the Keyframe Editor in the Edit page. Boy, that really just sounds stuck up and snobbish when I say it out loud, but that's what we're gonna cover in this video. I've learned some new things about it. I got some tricks up my sleeve, so let's dive into Davinci Resolve and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So here we are in Davinci Resolve, and I've got my image and a solid color generator underneath of it. This just shows us a colored background instead of black, so it's easier for you to see what I am doing. And we are going to get into some speed ramping stuff later, but we'll get there. Just trust me. So let's start by selecting our image, and I've got it's centered here. And if you notice, I've got this rectangle icon enabled. You can click on it, it gets disabled, and the outline goes away. With it enabled, we can drag this thing around, Control Z to undo. If you don't see this rectangle icon, click the drop-down arrow and select Transform. In here we've got Transform, Crop, Dynamic Zoom, etc. We just want Transform, that's all. But now we can grab anywhere in this image and drag it around. So I can put it right over here, and we need to zoom it in. We want to zoom this thing in. And now I want to go to the start of my clip because that's where the keyframes are going to begin. We don't need to set anything yet, but I am going to set the image position to be where I want to start because I'm going to start reading off this list of things, right? We're going to go, let's say, about 14 seconds and 12 frames in our clip, and then this is where we want to start the next movement. It's an arbitrary number. It will be different in your case than in mine, but the techniques and the thought process behind it is what matters here. So what we're going to do is we're going to come up to our inspector. If you don't see it, click on Inspector until you do. And then we're in the Video tab, Transform. And I'm going to click this upper right diamond, turning it red. Notice that it turns all the rest of them red. Well, we only care about zoom and position, but it is faster to just click that one icon and be done with it, right? So we've got a keyframe. We've created one. Anytime you see these red diamonds, there's a keyframe on that item. So then I'm going to use Shift Right and Shift Right again to go 2 seconds into the future. When is now? Now is then. You know, Spaceballs. You get the reference. Well, now, when I drag my Y and I want to go up a little bit because I'm reading like the third thing, you notice we've got a keyframe icon next to our position. That's good. Resolve is automatically creating the keyframes for us, and in the frames between keyframe 1 and keyframe 2, or keyframe 1 and keyframe 2, I gotta reverse everything for the camera. It will interpolate what those frames are supposed to be, and it will move smoothly our image in this case. Works with video as well. But then let's say down the line, I want to do some more movement, so I'll click further. This is where my next movement is. I will create another keyframe so that it's static between the last keyframe that we created when we moved the image and now this frame. So it'll stay in one place the whole time. Now we want it to move, so I'll click forward and we'll move it up some more. That's good. Now we've got more keyframes to work with. So let's go to the next spot where we want some movement. We'll say it's right here. We'll click on our keyframe icon. We'll go in the future, and we really want to do some crazy stuff here. We want to add the zoom. We want to move the position a little bit. Now we're doing something a little bit more complicated, and it'll come into play in the Keyframe Editor in just a minute. So stick with me. Now we've got a couple of movements. And if you want to see where the keyframes are without having to click on the left and right arrows to see them, we can click on this icon here, which shows our keyframe tray. So it shows where our transform and zoom keyframes are. And if you drag up on this bar, it'll show you all the things. So all the different parameters, right? That's pretty neat, but this doesn't really help us. We want to dive into that keyframe editor. To get to that, we click on keyframes right here. And whatever clip is currently under the playhead will show up here. Now, if your list has a whole bunch more in it that aren't lit up like these are, click on the 3 dots here and select Display Parameters with Keyframes. Because if you have all of them, by default, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff. Only the ones with the lit up curves over here have any keyframes on them. These are all set, but nothing's actually changed on them. We can go back and change that though. Click our 3 dots, display parameters with keyframes. We're good. These are the ones we worry about, but this doesn't really help us. This just shows us the same information that we saw in the keyframe tray. Got a fix for you. Click on this button here with the curve on it, keyframe curves, and it'll replace the tray with all the curves. And we can actually drag over and make this more visible. And you'll notice that by default, all of our keyframes are straight lines. That means when Davinci Resolve reaches a keyframe, and I'll move my playhead, when Davinci Resolve hits one of these keyframes, things are going to start moving, and then when it hits the next one, things will stop. It's not smooth, it's not buttery, it's not professional looking. It's what I've been told. I like the look of smoothed out keyframes a lot more. Now, the old way of doing this before the Keyframe Editor was introduced is to right-click on an individual keyframe and change it from linear to ease in, ease out, or ease in and out. There's a much faster way you're going to save time with this one. But before we go and smooth things out, let's just see how rough it is by default with the linear playback. So I've set my playhead right before the first keyframe, and I'll press the space bar to play, and you'll notice that it moves, and then it stops. Going to the next one, it's going to move, and it's going to move slower because the keyframes are spread out further apart, but then it stopped. Going to the last one, it's going to do the zoom and the move. And it's going to do it real slow, but then it's going to stop. That's not smooth. That's not buttery. Let's fix that. We start by clicking right here in empty space in the Keyframe Editor. If you don't do this, you'll select everything in your timeline, and you don't want to do that. You just want to select the keyframes. So I've clicked in there, Control A to select all, and then up here we've got some icons. This one right here says linear when we hover over it. Click the drop down, and you have linear, ease in and out, and ease out. We want ease in and out. Boom. Look how smooth that got. Buttery smooth. Now, sometimes you'll see something like this where depending on how you've done your keyframes, things are moving constantly. Let me show you what I'm talking about. If I go back before that first keyframe there, and you'll notice that you can click around in this playhead or the one up here, and it moves both. But we'll start right before, and we'll hit play, and then you'll see that my image does a lot of movement. It's moving around, it's moving left and right, but it's always moving in between these keyframes. That is suboptimal, my friend. We don't want to do that. So to fix that, I'll press the space bar to stop playing first, and I'll move my playhead so you can see. We can click on a keyframe and grab one of the handles and just drag it up. And then it's up there. And if you hold the Shift key, it allows you to lengthen your handle, and if you let go, it lets you move it up and down again. But it locks it in place, so you can hold Shift and just move it back and forth, and that will make your editing easier. But now when I go back and I play this from right before this keyframe, it's just going to move and do the zoom right there, and then it's going to stop as it got smoothed out. Let's go take a look at one of the earlier examples from this clip. So moving my playhead back here, you can see we've got one big thing going on, and then we've got the zooms and the positions over here. Based on the color over here, we have position X, and then down here we have position Y, and then the zoom is going to show up as this line here. And you can click on each of these lines if you want and see just that parameter, or you can click on the parameters over here and it'll show you that line, which helps you select the different parameters. And by clicking on these white curve icons, you can show and hide the different things. So in this case, we just have Zoom X left. We can get rid of that. But if I click on them, they'll both show up, and then it automatically sizes things to show you all the keyframes. But they're all smoothed out. Let's play this one back. And then boom, you'll see that we're doing just our up and down. And then the next one, it's going to go and just do the up and down again. Hopefully you noticed there, and you could see that the image movement started out fast, and then it slowed down, and then it sped up again at the end, which gives you that smooth just transition from one position or zoom to another. Now, playing with this in a different way, let's look at some speed ramping real quick. For this one, I've dragged in a clip. It is 37 seconds long. I'm going to click on my clip, press Control R, which brings up the retime controls. The other thing you can do is right-click on it, on your clip that is, and select retime controls. You'll see the shortcut over here. Anytime you see a menu and it's got a shortcut next to it, you can use that shortcut instead, which makes editing faster. Time savings again. Boop the like button. With our retime controls visible, I'm just going to click in a couple of random spots, add a speed point. If you want to know more about speed ramping, I did a video recently on that one, I don't know, last year or something, but there's a trick in this one. I now have my 2 speed points set, and I can go into the middle and click the down arrow there, change the speed to 200%. But John, what if I wanted 300%? Well, my keyframe editor is still visible here, and I can click on this top line. See, I've got the up and down arrows, and I can drag it. And we've got a 2.2. I can drag faster. I can grab it again, go up to about 3. So that would be 300%. And if I hover, I'm at 302.81%. I want 300 precisely. How do we do that? Here's the trick. Over in our inspector, on the video tab, scroll down until you see speed change. Click in the blank area next to the text, it will expand it. We have direction, ease, change speed, frames per second, and duration. Well, we're at 100% here, and if I click here, it still says 100%. Same with the first part. But if I click in the middle, it now shows the 302.81. I can either drag this and change the speed, and you'll notice that it changes the duration and the visibility here, or I can double click and type in 300, press tab, and boom, we're out. Isn't that awesome? Now we're at exactly 300%. And the same rules apply that I showed you earlier. So if I click in the blank space of the keyframe editor, Control A, come up, and it's still selected because this is the last choice I made, click ease in and out, boom, there we go. Now, if we wanted to go ahead and lengthen these to make the transition from normal speed to 300% smoother or slower, we can click on these handles and, oh no, we can't. It only does one. Control Z to undo. I can lasso select both of these and then drag a handle, and it'll let you drag it out just as far as you can without breaking anything. So by default, we had this kind of curve where it was at 300% for quite a while and it ramped up really fast. But now it's going to ramp up really slowly and only be at 300% for a few frames, not very long. So let me Control Z to undo that, and then we'll play it back. And you'll see that it's going to go ramp up very quickly. I'm doing a dance break on the motorcycle. Do not try at home. I'm a trained professional. And then once it gets to the end of that, it's going to very quickly ramp back down. Now, Control Shift Z to redo. And now we've got our smooth curve again. We'll go back to the start of our clip and play it back. And you'll notice that it's going to start ramping up really quickly, but it's ramping up rather slowly. And it's getting up to that fast speed, and almost immediately, it's going to start slowing down. See that? Isn't that a lot smoother? So there you have it. You have some new time-saving tools in your video editing toolbox in Davinci Resolve. I hope you learned a lot. As usual, it ran long, but I kind of take a holistic approach to my videos where we start at the beginning and we work all the way to the end, so that no matter your experience level, you should be able to follow along at home with your own footage and achieve the same results. Did you learn anything? Did you already know all this? Drop me a comment below. Do you have a question about Davinci Resolve? Drop that in the comment section below. As usual, I hope you're having a great day, and I suggest you go watch this video next. It's one of mine. I'll see you there. John out.